Hello Spurs fans, Paul the Hotspur hippie here, the only psychedelic soccer show on the internet. I'm feeling a little bit more psychedelic today. Had a day away from everything and, well, not quite everything. I haven't looked at any pundits or anything like that, can't be bothered. But I probably did something worse, which was I watched the Brighton game again just to see what happened. And so here's my thoughts on it. First half, we all know that was good. Second half, we changed the way we played football. Now, look, this is just my take on it. I might be wrong. This is just what I'm seeing. You know, your mileage may vary. And also, when you're rewatching a game and you know the result, you know, hindsight's a funny old thing and biases and stuff like that. But this is what I saw in the second half. We changed the way we played. We were trying to see the game out a bit. And it started for me, right early in the second half, we had a free kick. Now, Maddison went down like he'd broken his legs, rolling around. Just looked to me like time wasting and milking. And then when he was taking the free kick again, he was mucking around, moving the ball, not quick. The tempo had gone. So that for me was the start of it. And from there, none of our players, I mean, I'm sure people might be pointing the finger, and I get it, you know, at maybe Doggy for the cock up. But man, it was the whole team, man. It was the whole team. It's like they got a bit too cocky, bit too ahead of themselves. Thought, you know, international break coming, we're 2-0 up at half time. We're just going to see this game out. And it was telling in. I saw James Maddison's interview after the game, and there he said we couldn't grind it out. And that's not how we were playing in the first half. We were not grinding anything. We were dominating. We were all over them. And somehow, somewhere, someone or whatever, it spread through the team to decide to be a bit more game management-y. And Brighton, to their credit, came out and absolutely demolished us, didn't they? They did more to us in the second half than we did to them in the first half. So it wasn't just Udogie, it was everyone. It was Van der Ven was off it. I mean, surprising, you know. I'm surprised from what I saw because I'm not used to seeing these players do this. So, you know, this video is going to be a little bit maybe of a bit of a bollocking for them, but don't get me wrong. I'm not being really down on anything or anything like that, or I'm not saying Ange out or get rid of this player or get rid of that player. It was just a bad performance, you know. And hopefully we can all learn from this. But when we're playing our game, which relies on us pressing and hassling the other team, if that component's missing, then we're stuffed, aren't we? We're stuffed. It is risky football, but when we execute it well, it's very, very good and very unstoppable. But we were stopped because we weren't pressing. Players that were great in the first half, like Kulusevski, kept on losing the ball. Our midfield kept on losing the ball. Up front, we kept on losing the ball. And Brighton, we weren't stopping them. They just ran through us. So by the time it gets to our back line, you know, the damage has kind of already been done. I don't think it was really a question of us being, you know, naive or high line. The commentators were going on about the high line a lot. I don't think that was the problem. We were just not playing well. Now, what could have been done about that? Ange said after the game, you know, because he was asked about making substitutions a bit earlier, and he said it was the whole thing. It was the whole thing. So I kind of understand what he's saying there. The thing you know, and look, this is I don't know all the information, but the thing I definitely would have done, Udogie lost his head. After that cock up, he was being skinned left, right and centre. Porro was a bit as well. So bringing on Jed Spence. Now, given the way the team's head was, would that have changed it? I don't know. is there a lesson to be learned from leaving them out there and just letting them suffer a bit? I mean, that's harsh, I think. I don't know if that's the way to do it. I think that's what Ange might have been doing. So, you know, again, I'm not saying Ange is completely blameless in this one at all. There's probably criticisms going around like he didn't, you know, he's just standing there or not motivating the team. I don't buy any of that. That's not his job. His job is just to, you know, say kick it that way and make changes. And we saw that when we brought the changes on, it didn't really change the way we played anyway. When Maddison and Basuma came on, nothing changed. Our heads were gone. Our heads were gone. Complacency. And I think this is different to some bad performances I've seen in the past, where bad performances really prior to Ange, so, you know, Mourinho, Conte, even Poch sort of performances, those were bad performances because we kind of didn't give a shit. We were really kind of lazy. You know, comments like, you know, it's good playing for Spurs, you don't have to win every game. It was more that, whereas this one, we just got too cocky. And it's a fine line, man. It's a fine line. You know, you want players to be confident, but you don't want them to be ahead of themselves and just think that the game's in the bag. So that, you know, that's on Ange to sort out. Ange has got to fix this mentality. As I say, I think it's a different mentality to what I've seen in the past. Even though I haven't watched anything, I am seeing disappointing things like Tottenham fans using the word Spursy. It's something I absolutely detest. Look, if you're a fan of another team, I get it. You know, you can say what you want. But really, I think it's a bit much for our own fans to criticise the team and maybe our mentality when at the first drop of a hat, we all lose our heads and insult the team and use the word Spursy as being something, you know, crap. I hate that. I don't, you know, I think we've got to be stronger as fans, basically. Stronger as fans. And say, look, it was a bad performance and there's reasons for it. And a lot of it was the players. Some of it may have been Ange as well, in this instance. And it's fair to say we were crap. We were awful. It was a disgusting second half. That's all fine, because that's what I saw. But when you start saying Spursy is an adjective to describe that, that really gets my goat, man. Have some more, I'm trying to use a word other than pride. I'll use the word pride, but I don't like pride. Have a bit more pride in your team. Care about your team a bit more. Don't start using that word to put us down. Other fans do that. Jamie O'Hara can do that, but we shouldn't be doing that. It's very, very disrespectful, not only to the current team, but to all of the players in the past and all the achievements that this club has done. So, say we were crap, say we were rubbish, say we bottled it, that's all fine. But to say Spursy, come on folks, we can do better than that. We can do better than that. The players did enough to do the badge harm. We don't have to add insult to injury. So, we've got an international break, and as usual, I'm having to carry around a stench of defeat for a couple of weeks. But, in a way, I think this is fixable. If it's just, because it's not a question of ability. It's not a question of being found out. It's a question of being too big for our boots. And I think that's something that Ange can sort out, and I think the players can sort out. I didn't like James Maddison's interview afterwards. He was partly responsible. He's part of the leadership group, man. And maybe for all the people that are out there that have got question marks over Son's captaincy, I reckon if Son was on the pitch, this wouldn't have happened. So I've got to put it down to the leadership on the pitch as well. I said this in my initial gut reaction in my review afterwards was that if I'm going to put it down to one player, I'm going to say Romero. But hey, the leadership group, so you can include Maddison and Vicario in that as well. They didn't sort this shit out, and in fact they were instigators of it. Romero started getting sloppy. When we conceded that first goal, Romero's head went down. That's not good enough, Cootie, man. Come on, you know, we're better than this. James Maddison, time wasting straight at the get-go, talking about grinding the game out. Hey man, if you want to try and grind the game out, then don't play the way you did in the first half, man. You can't just chop and change like that. We're not grinding games out of Tottenham. We're putting the sword to our opponents' throats, you know. So really weak. I did see something where Alistair Gold said, you know, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg could have seen the game out. Again, I think that's completely the wrong attitude, man. I think we've been a lot better without him in the team. It's just our players let us down. And, you know, maybe the team's performance was such that Ange felt, well, there's nothing I can do. Now, maybe there is something he could have done. I don't know. Or maybe there isn't. I don't know. So, a little bit of a mild finger wag for Ange. A huge shake of the fist to the players. And come on, what are you all doing, fans? You know, stop putting us down. Every opportunity is pathetic, you know. I don't know why some people support this club when all they do is shit on us at every turn and saying Spursy, like I say. That's not on. So anyway, I think it's all fixable, and I've got absolute 100% confidence in Ange that he can do this, man, absolutely. And we'll see what happens when we come back. Hopefully, this is a lesson in a bit of humility for our players. 5 wins on the bounce, thinking they're unstoppable. Brighton stopped us, man. They played very well. They did us, no doubt about it. So let's see what happens when we come back, folks. I hope you're all doing well. I know it's a painful one, Nat. It's taken me a day to sort of kind of lick my wounds a bit and get over it, because it was horrible, wasn't it? But hey, we just look forward to the next football game now and hope that we do a lot better and our attitude is not with our heads up our own backside so much. Anyway, on that note, peace and love, man. Peace and love, and come on, you Spurs.